Hello, dreamer. I'll be your storyteller tonight. Like and subscribe for more bedtime stories and share in the comments where you're listening from. The graveyard shift at Walmart was supposed to be easy money. No customers, no chaos. Just me, my cart of stock, and the hum of fluorescent lights. But if you've ever walked through a Walmart at 3 a.m., you know it doesn't feel like the same store you see in the daytime. It feels wrong. Too big, too empty, too quiet. The shelves stretch on forever like the aisles are swallowing you whole. The buzzing lights overhead never stop, but somehow it still feels too dark. And the silence. God, the silence presses against your ears until you start to imagine things. That night, I was working toys. The plastic packaging crinkled as I stocked Hot Wheels, Barbie dolls, action figures. I remember thinking it was strange how still everything felt. Not even the air conditioning made a sound. Then, I heard it. A laugh, a child's laugh. I froze, a box of Legos in my hands. The sound came from the next aisle over. I told myself it was the speakers. Sometimes the PA system picked up static. But this wasn't static. This was soft, high-pitched giggling. Hello? I called out, my voice echoing down the row. No answer. I pushed my cart forward, turning into the next aisle. Empty. Just rows of dolls staring at me with plastic eyes, and then the shopping cart moved. It was at the far end of the aisle. I swear I saw it roll 3 feet forward on its own, wheels squeaking against the linoleum. My chest tightened. I forced a laugh. Probably a draft, I whispered to myself. But the air was still. Not a single vent was blowing. I took a step toward it, and that's when I saw what was inside. A doll. Not one from the shelves, not in a box. Just a naked baby doll sitting upright in the cart, its head tilted slightly. Its glassy eyes fixed on me. I turned away. I didn't want to look at it. But when I glanced back, every single doll on the shelves was facing me. They weren't like that before. I swear they weren't, dozens of them. Rows and rows. All their plastic faces turned toward me under the buzzing light. My throat went dry. And then the intercom crackled. The PA system hissed like static before a voice came through. A whisper low and rough. Clean up. Aisle 12, I froze. My stomach twisted. I wasn't anywhere near aisle 12, and yet, I felt it calling me. The voice over the PA system sent shivers down my spine. Clean up. Aisle 12. The words were drawn out like someone whispering directly into my ear. The speakers above me crackled again and then went silent. I stood frozen in the toy aisle, staring down at the rows of dolls with their blank faces. The shopping cart at the end of the aisle still held that doll, its head tilted just enough to look unnatural. I wanted to quit right then. Leave the cart of stock, clock out, and get the hell out of there. But the problem was, Walmart at night has one exit and it's locked from the inside until the manager buzzes you out. And the manager had already gone home. It was just me and whatever that voice was. Slowly I pushed my cart away from the toys. The wheels squeaked as if they were protesting, echoing through the empty aisles. I tried not to look at the dolls, but I could feel them watching. I walked past electronics. Past housewares. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead as though they were following me. Every aisle looked endless, then I saw it. The big blue sign. 12 cleaning supplies. I stopped at the mouth of the aisle. My hands tightened on the handle of my cart. The shelves were half empty. The floor glistened faintly under the buzzing lights. And right there, cutting across the linoleum, were marks, red, long, smears. They looked like someone had dragged a paint-soaked mop across the tiles. Except it wasn't paint. The smell told me that much. I bent down slowly. The streaks were sticky, dark. The metallic scent of blood filled my nose, and then footsteps. A slow clack. 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 They echoed from the far end of the aisle. I snapped my head up, expecting to see a customer or another worker. But there was no one. Hello? My voice cracked. Silence. I grabbed my radio from my belt and pressed the button. Anyone here, security? Maintenance? Only static. The footsteps came again, closer this time. I spun around, but the aisle stretched empty behind me. And then, the monitors. From where I stood, I could see the bank of security screens mounted high on the wall near electronics. They showed every corner of the store in grainy black and white. My blood went cold. On the screen for aisle 12, I saw myself, standing alone in the middle of the aisle, but I wasn't alone. Behind me was a figure, tall, thin, its body blurred like bad reception, its face smeared into static. But its arms, long, reaching down past its knees, were clear as day. I spun around, but the aisle was empty. My hands trembled as I looked back at the monitor. The thing was closer now. I stumbled backward, nearly slipping on the sticky floor. My eyes darted down the aisle. Nothing. No one. The intercom hissed again. That same whisper. Clean up. Aisle 12. My heart hammered. I gripped the cart and shoved it forward, bolting down the aisle, the squeak of its wheels screaming in the silence. I turned left, then right, rushing past displays of paper towels, laundry soap, and bleach. But no matter how many corners I turned, every aisle I entered looked the same. Cleaning supplies, mops, buckets, empty bottles. I wasn't getting out. The lights above me flickered, buzzing louder and louder until one by one they began to shut off. The darkness followed me like a wave, swallowing the aisles behind me. I ran harder, my chest burning, the sound of my footsteps echoing too loud, too fast, like someone else was running just behind me. I turned one last corner and froze. The blood trails from aisle 12 were here too, fresh, wet. They smeared across the tiles, leading directly toward the freezer section. And as the last light above me flickered and died, the freezers began to glow. A pale, icy blue light poured out of the glass doors, bathing the aisle in a ghostly shimmer I didn't want to look. But I couldn't stop myself inside the freezers. Pressed against the glass were faces, dozens of them. Pale, frozen faces with mouths stretched open in silent screams. Their eyes followed me. And then, knock. A single hand slapped against the glass from inside. Fingers spread wide, skin frozen and cracked. The mouth moved soundlessly, desperate. Knock, knock, knock. And as I stared, frozen in place, the intercom came alive one more time. Now you see them. Soon they'll see you. The glow from the freezers pulled me in like a moth to a flame. Rows of glass doors stretched down the aisle, each one alive with that pale blue light. And behind the fogged-up glass, faces, so many faces. They weren't mannequins, they weren't masks. They looked real. Skin pale, lips cracked, eyes wide and unblinking. Some pressed their foreheads against the glass, others beat their fists weakly, leaving cloudy smears behind. I stepped closer, my breath shallow. The air grew colder with every step, so cold it burned my throat. I raised a trembling hand toward the nearest freezer door. The face inside stared back. A man, his mouth frozen wide in an eternal scream. Frost covered his hair, his skin, his eyes. But his hand moved, knock. My whole body jerked. He was alive. Help. His lips mouthed the word, fogging up the glass. His eyes pleaded with me, so human, so desperate. I stumbled backward, shaking my head. My voice cracked, no, 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 and then all of them moved. Dozens of hands pressed against the glass at once. The sound of it, flesh slapping, nails scratching, palms pounding, echoed down the frozen aisle. Their mouths opened and closed in silent, synchronized screams. The glass began to rattle. I turned to run, but I didn't get far, because every aisle I turned into was the toy section again, the shelves lined with dolls, their heads twisted toward me. Their painted smiles stretched too wide under the flickering lights. I ran through another aisle, still toys. Another, still toys. The store was folding in on itself, trapping me in an endless loop of dolls and freezers and blood-stained floors. Stop, I whispered, clutching my head. This isn't real. It's a dream. I'm dreaming, but the dolls blinked. I swear to God I saw their eyelids flicker. A sound broke through the silence, a squeak. The kind of squeak shopping carts make when one wheel sticks. It echoed. Once, twice, then more. I turned. From the far end of the aisle, a shopping cart rolled into view. Slowly. Pushed by nothing. Its wheels screeched like nails against metal, and then another rolled in behind it. And another, until a circle of them formed around me. I backed up against the shelves, my chest heaving, my heart punching against my ribs. The carts pressed closer, their wheels squealing, hemming me in like a trap. One cart jolted forward, bumping into my leg. My breath caught. Inside the cart, something moved. At first I thought it was another doll. But no, this was bigger. A shape hunched low, limbs folded tight, body trembling like it was waiting to burst out. And then it did. It crawled out of the cart, its body unfolding unnaturally, arms bending at impossible angles. Its skin was blackened and cracked like it had been burned. Its fingers were long, claw-like, dragging against the tiles with a screech, and its face, oh God, its face. Its mouth was stretched into a grin too wide for its skull, lips torn at the corners. Rows of teeth, jagged and too many, glistened in the pale light. And its eyes were just pits, empty, hungry. It tilted its head at me, the grin widening. Then it whispered. Not from its mouth, but all around me, echoing through the store, "You can't leave." My legs gave out and I hit the floor hard. My palm slid in the sticky red smear that followed me from aisle 12. The thing crawled closer, joints snapping with each movement. Its claws scraped the tiles, leaving deep grooves in the floor. I scrambled backward, my hands burning, my voice breaking. "Stay away from me!" It stopped inches from my face, that grin. It never faded, and then the PA system came alive again. Not yet. The creature froze, tilted its head. Then, as if obeying the voice, it slithered back into the cart, folding itself down into an impossible ball of limbs. The cart rolled back into the circle, squeaking, waiting. I was gasping for air, crying, shaking. My chest hurt from the force of my heartbeat. But one thought burned through the terror. I had to get out. I staggered to my feet and ran. Not toward the main doors, not toward the toy aisles, but toward the back of the store, toward the employee-only area, if there was a phone, a back exit, anything. I shoved through the double doors and stumbled into the stockroom. The smell hit me first, damp cardboard, mildew, something rotten. Stacks of boxes towered above me, casting shadows under the dim emergency lights. It was colder here, and scattered across the floor were notebooks. Old, torn, the covers warped by water stains. I picked one up with trembling hands. The first page was written in messy, hurried scrawl. Another one gone. Management told us to cover it up. They said the store takes who it wants. That's the price of the contract. I dropped the book. My stomach lurched. My head spun. The sound of wheels squeaking echoed from the stockroom entrance. They'd followed me. The sound of wheels squeaking echoed through the stockroom. One cart, then another. The sound multiplied, bouncing off the walls, filling every shadow with movement. I clutched the torn notebook tighter. My hands shook so badly I could barely keep hold of it. The words I'd read spun around in my head. The store takes who it wants. The price of the contract. What did that mean? I backed deeper into the maze of boxes, stepping over broken pallets, kicking aside more notebooks scattered across the floor. Some were too moldy to read, others torn to shreds. But the pieces I caught, scribbles about missing employees, strange sightings, doors that wouldn't open, painted a picture I didn't want to believe. Walmart wasn't just a store. It was something else, a trap. The carts rolled closer. I ducked behind a stack of boxes, crouching low, holding my breath. The squeaking stopped. Silence. For one terrifying second, I thought maybe I had imagined it. Maybe I was finally losing my mind. But then scratch that sound. Long claws dragging across concrete. I peeked around the corner. And there it was. The crawling thing. It pulled itself into the stockroom on all fours, its twisted body unfolding in the pale light. Its grin stretched wider, tearing at the corners of its mouth, black liquid dripping down its chin. It sniffed the air like a predator catching my scent. Its empty pits of eyes swept across the boxes, then it spoke, not with its mouth, not in any human voice, but inside my head. "You don't belong here." I slapped a hand over my mouth to muffle the sound of my breath. Tears burned my eyes. The creature crawled forward, its claws clicking on the floor, dragging behind it a trail of something thick and dark. It stopped by a stack of boxes, tilted its head, grinned wider, then it slammed its claws through the cardboard, ripping them open like paper. Cans tumbled out, cleaning supplies, mops, buckets, and behind them bones. Human bones half buried in the trash. I gagged. My stomach lurched. I stumbled back, knocking over a crate. The sound gave me away. The creature's head snapped toward me. Its grin split even wider as it whispered inside my skull. "Found you." It lunged. I screamed and bolted deeper into the stockroom, shoving past crates and shelves, knocking down boxes that crashed behind me. My lungs burned. My legs shook, but I didn't stop. The claws scraped behind me, too close, too fast. I rounded a corner and spotted a steel door marked, "Employees Only. No exit." I didn't care. I grabbed the handle and yanked. To my shock, it opened. I stumbled inside and slammed it shut behind me. Darkness swallowed me whole. I fumbled for a light switch, my hands shaking so bad I could barely feel the wall. My fingers brushed a pull cord. I yanked it. A single bulb buzzed to life overhead. The room wasn't empty. The walls were covered with writing. Thousands of words scrawled in black marker, smeared in blood, scratched into the paint. It takes the night shift. Don't answer the intercom. Don't look in the freezers. You never leave. My breath hitched. I staggered backward until I hit something hard. A table. On it sat more notebooks, folders, Polaroids. I picked one up with trembling hands. The photo showed a worker in a blue vest, smiling, holding up a price scanner. Normal. But the next photo showed the same worker, pale, frozen against the glass of a freezer door. Another showed a man stocking shelves. His shadow stretched behind him, but it wasn't his. The shadow had claws, and another. I dropped it instantly. It was me. Me, standing in aisle 12. The photo was black and white, grainy, but there was no mistaking it. My blue vest, my face, my card of stock. And behind me, the tall, static figure from the cameras. My heart stopped. How long had this been happening? How many had it taken before me? The bulb above me flickered. I froze, because in the reflection of the metal table I saw it. The crawling thing. It was inside the room with me. Its grin hovered just behind my shoulder. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. In the dull reflection of the steel table, the creature's grin loomed just behind me, stretching impossibly wide. Its claws tapped against the floor, slow, deliberate. I turned, trembling. Nothing. The room was empty, but I knew better. The air itself felt heavy, thick, charged with something that wasn't human. The words on the walls seemed to crawl, shifting in the corner of my eyes. The bulb above me buzzed, then dimmed. A sound broke the silence, not claws, not carts, the intercom. It hissed, static bleeding into the air before the voice whispered again. You can't leave until you pay. My chest tightened. My throat burned. I screamed at the empty ceiling. What do you want from me? The answer came in laughter. Not one voice, but dozens, children, women, men, layered over one another in a chorus of madness. The walls shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. The steel door rattled in its frame. I grabbed the nearest notebook, flipping through frantic scrawls. Pages ripped under my fingers. It keeps us. The carts are the gatekeepers. Don't let it see you bleed. If you hear the laughter, it's already too late. The bulb overhead popped, plunging the room into darkness. I ran. The steel door burst open under my shoulder, and I tumbled back into the stockroom. The sound hit me first. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Dozens of shopping carts, moving through the shadows, rolling in formation, their wheels screaming against the concrete. And behind them, footsteps, slow, heavy. I turned toward the noise and froze. The tall figure from the cameras stood at the far end of the stockroom, blurred, flickering, like static given form. Its arms stretched long, almost dragging against the ground. Its face pulsed in and out of existence, a smear of shapes and teeth. It raised a hand, and the cart stopped. The air stilled. I whispered, "Please, just let me go." It tilted its head. Then the intercom spoke again, this time clear. "You can't leave. You work here now." "No," I sobbed. "I don't. I quit. I quit." The laughter came again, loud, booming through every aisle of the store. The dolls, the freezers, the walls themselves seemed to shake with it. The carts rolled forward, faster, faster. Their wheels screeched as they formed a wall around me, boxing me in. The crawling thing slid out from between two carts, its grin dripping black sludge onto the floor. It reached for me, claws gleaming. I bolted. I don't remember how. I don't remember where. I just remember running until my lungs collapsed, my legs on fire, every step echoing like it wasn't mine. Then, light, the front doors. I slammed into them, pounding with my fists. They didn't budge. My reflection stared back at me in the glass, wild-eyed, broken. And then, as if mocking me, the locks clicked. The doors swung open. Cold night air hit me like a wave. I stumbled into the parking lot, gasping, sobbing, the stars above me spinning. I didn't look back. Not once. I just ran. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember falling asleep. But I woke up the next morning in my bed, sunlight streaming through the blinds. For a moment, I thought it had all been a nightmare, just my mind playing tricks on me until I saw it. On my nightstand. A Walmart vest. My vest. Folded neatly, clean, as if someone had ironed it. Pinned to the pocket was a badge. It didn't say my name, it just said a manager. And from the street outside, faint but clear, I heard it. The squeak of shopping carts.